Week, another week full of AI news. In our newsletter this week, we're going to talk a little bit about Walmart, Salesforce, Adobe, Cleveland Clinic, and MIT. So, a lot of big names in this week's news. We'll start off with Walmart. So, I do a lot of shopping on Walmart myself. I order groceries for delivery and all those sorts of things. But I have noticed recently that there's a lot of influencers or resellers on the app. So they've really opened that up. It's a lot like LTK or some of those other sites where people can curate specific products. And when you buy their products, then they get a kickback. So this new AI tool that they have for their marketplace helps. It reminds me a little bit of Pinterest in the way that you can SEO or standardize your titles, attributions, the images that you're using, and the AI can apply those rules that you set, I guess, for one, or maybe it's in a like a brand guide or something like that, but you can apply that throughout your entire offering or catalog, which is really cool because that'll help you get found once you figure out what your niche is. If you're, work from home person or, it's like business casual or whatever those looks are. And that's just clothing because there's a whole bunch of different things that Walmart sells. Pretty much you can get anything on there now. So that's an interesting way, and they're offering it free. I don't know if it will always be free or if it's something they're just trying out, but it will help people save time and it will help them get found easier. So that's a great tool for people selling on Marketplace. Um, Next in the news, Salesforce, they are launching something called AgentForce, and that's for manufacturing. This has a lot to do with processes in manufacturing, like demand planning, inventory, service scheduling, and sales. It's supposed to be designed to help save time, especially on reporting, and use fewer admin hours for the team. I'm not in manufacturing, so to me, this sounds really cool. And it also is saying like faster quotes, less downtime, and that the reps or the people focused on different areas can actually do that and get rid of some of those tasks, which is what we're always trying to do. Um, so in this case, this is AI actually does work, and they're piloting this in a narrow group of use cases for right now. But I would imagine this is kind of reminding me of Salesforce becoming more like Amazon or something like that, which we know would, of course, adopt AI sooner than most people. So that'll be another interesting to watch as far as their manufacturing and processes. And there's a lot that goes into that. Even like they say inventory, but that's like um, scheduling what you think inventory will need to be or what the trends will be. So if it's going to be product A or product B, and based on what's coming up, what's going to be more popular, what kind of pieces will you need, what kind of people will you need, just like with Amazon and Black Friday and October, they have another Amazon day that they have more people working, they have more people in the distribution, they have more people because they know that sales go up at those times. So that's some of that forecasting on both inventory and scheduling and sales. Adobe Firefly has now added Gemini 2.5 Flash for image generation, which is cool. Um, it's great because there's more models for you to use in the sense of this creative image generation. You've got Firefly Express where you can pick the model. And some of the Firefly models can do images, videos, vector, audio. It's gotten really great, and Firefly is one of those tools that's free. So it's like adobe.firefly.com, I think is the address. But you can look it up online and just try it out. There is a pro offering. And in that offering, you will get more. generations, more uses, probably more models. They're just now starting to add these different levels of Firefly, so it'd be cool to watch out on that one. But that's always been a really great tool, especially because when they started offering it to everybody for free, it's a great way and it's really good quality. So it looks like they also have some partner models. So not just Google, but OpenAI, Forest Labs, Runway, Pika, Ideogram, like, and these are all things that we've talked about in all of our other videos. This is great to go to one place for images, video, even now audio, and you'll be able to use all these models. So that's a great expansion for the Firefly offering. And then Cleveland Clinic, they are starting to roll out AI across their system, and it's got a 96% accuracy. This specific use case that we're talking about here is a melanoma trial, and it's 96% accurate in 2.5 minutes versus 95% accuracy, which is still right there, taking 427 minutes by a specialist nurse. So it's nurse taking 427 minutes, AI taking 2.5 minutes. So, and they're still maintaining that, well, 1% more of accuracy for the AI, which is really promising. And I think we need to keep in mind that it's not just AI is smarter than a person. It took the people and the knowledge and all of that to train the AI. So really it's a combination of a bunch of people's knowledge. That's what AI is. It's not just this entity that knows everything. It had to be taught. So it's a great and amazing thing because now that means wait times to get results, wait times for appointments, all of that can be brought down. So it just gives everybody more of a level playing field to get better healthcare and better results. Um, Even if it was the same amount of accuracy, it's still 425 almost minutes less per use than not. So even if it's not better, it's still like cutting the time. It's such a fraction of that 427 minutes or whatever it was. And then we've got MIT, who we're always following because they're on the forefront of using physics-based or deeper learning sort of models, as in medical. Sometimes they've had some really interesting studies lately that we've been following. So you can check back in some of our other newsletters, and we're almost always featuring MIT because they're always out there in the news of AI and the positive use cases. So in this one specific, it's about climate predictions, which is it really interesting to me. I always think it's funny, and we joke, at least my group of people, that a weather person is like the only job that you can be wrong at all the time and you won't get fired, right? Because we don't have the technology, or in the past haven't had the technology to really stay up on weather. One minute it says no rain, the next minute, here we go, we're raining, and vice versa. So I think in this case, it's a bigger, it's not temperature of the day, but more of the climate changes, benchmarking, looking at patterns, but also getting reliable forecasts, which is going to be really cool and helpful for all of us in our daily lives. Um, and then let's see, next. We do have 2 classes starting the end of this month. September 30th is Applied AI, and that's going to take place every Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. This is our Applied Level 1 certification. So at the end of the 10 weeks, if you finish the course, finish the assessment, you actually get a certification that you can feature on your LinkedIn, on your resume, wherever you want to put it. But you actually get certified in Applied AI, and it's practical use cases. One of the things we strive to do is teach in a contextual sort of way. So no matter we all know there's tens of thousands, maybe hundreds of thousands of tools out there, and a lot of them do the same things. So what we teach is how to, for instance, prompt engineering and brand voice is one of the first two modules. And we'll teach you how to keep that consistent and create content that actually sounds like you, regardless of what tool you're using. If you're using Claude, if you're using ChatGPT, um, any of the tools. Like there's so many. I'm like drawing a blank on the list, but there's so many. There's Perplexity, Poe, which you can use multiple models. Either way, we teach you information and how to apply that to any tool. So it's not tool specific, but it is hands-on. So live examples, live classes, and also a lab each week to go with the classes. So you can work on homework in there, you can ask specific questions, and you can get updates on the latest news. And if you subscribe to our newsletter, there is a 50% off code. So make sure you do that. You can subscribe to the newsletter from our website, both at the top navigation and the bottom. The other class we're going to be starting October 2nd, that's Thursday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. for 4 weeks, is AI, your operation. So this is actually taking it can come after or at the same time as going through applied AI, but basically, after you learn what AI is and what the possibilities are, it's taking those skills and automating it in your process. So for us, we use AI to create our weekly newsletter. We don't set anything 100% set it and forget it, but we do use it to get it 90% of the way, I would say now. And we will actually have an upcoming blog article on exactly how we did it, the models we're using, why we're using those models, and then the experiment we did to get there. But mastering your ops is 4 weeks, define, design, deploy, and no, develop, then deploy. We will walk you through the steps, and by the end of the 4 sessions, you will have an automation to actually turn on. So whether you're using Zapier or N8N, we teach you how to set those up regardless, again, of the tools. You learn the concepts of how to design your workflows, how to create SOPs, how to understand the bottlenecks in your current processes, and then getting AI to help you and do the work in the background. And that's a really great course starting October 2nd. And you can find information about that at aismartinsiders.com. And then some tools to try this week. Jasper. We love Jasper for creating content. They've got a bunch of new features in Jasper. To be honest, I'm still getting used to all of them, but they've got workplaces or work groups is what they're calling them. They've got audiences that you can build. There's knowledge base, there's groups, there's all these sort of things that really makes a great area for teams to collaborate. Pictory is another great tool we like to use. And you could take URLs and turn them into videos for social media ads or social media posts. It's a really fun and fairly easy tool to get started on. And then Read AI, as you'll see, that's in this recording now, we bring into all of our meetings so we can use transcripts. We can follow up on action items, and we actually have an automation in place to help us take client meetings or strategy meetings. It runs through Zapier and creates a document for scope of work, for proposals, and that helps us outline everything based on the conversation we have with the actual client. So that has made our proposal process go way down, because what would have taken us, a few hours, we now run the first draft using the transcripts in AI. And that's the news for this week. And we hope to see you in one of our upcoming